guys, welcome to Food Lab, Spring 2021 edition. Today we're making some Super Bowl snacks, but you can actually have them anytime you would like. And Diane and I wanted to give you a couple different options. One is cheeseburger dip, and you'll be cooking that. The other one you don't have to cook. It's more just assembly and a little bit simpler and definitely healthier. So I got things started a little bit, and I've cut up a bunch of our ingredients and have them ready to go in bowls. This is called mise en place, which is French. And that's what chefs like to do. And sometimes that'll simplify the process of cooking. If you get everything ready, you read over the recipe, and then you can just start putting it all together. So, and then I'll show you a few of the steps. But basically I started with a can of corn. I used whole kernel white corn. You could use, they have yellow and white, just don't use creamed corn. That wouldn't work for you. And a can of cannelloni beans, which are white beans. This would be just as good with black beans. You could make it with pinto beans if you like those. Usually I use Great Northern white beans, but they didn't have any in the grocery store. These are a little bit bigger, but it's all good. You can completely do what you prefer for that. So I took both of these cans of beans and I used my strainer and I poured them out into the sink and rinsed them in cold water and then added them to the bowl. They're kind of bland looking right now because they're similar color. In the meantime, I had an avocado that I bought yesterday. It was not completely ripe, so I actually put it in a bag with bananas and it ripened overnight, so it's much softer. So I've cut it in half and I've taken the pit out, which essentially you cut around the pit and then you go right into the actual pit and you can twist it and it should come out. Just hold it down on the cutting board. And now the next step is that I will take the avocado, I'll keep it down here, and I'm going to make cuts across the avocado, but being careful to go only through the inside and not through the outside if I can help it. And then I'm going to make crisscross cuts, same way, only as deep as what they call the flesh of the avocado. And then I'm going to use my spoon. I'm going to go in the avocado and you're just going to scoop out all of that. So there's one half. And now I'll repeat. So again, cut, 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 cut across. This one's a little not quite as ripe as I would like it to be, but it is soft enough that it'll be fine. You can also buy avocado frozen now and defrost it. Keep it in your freezer so you always have it. That's kind of cool too. And then I'm again just scooping it out of the skin. And as you can see, it just comes out in perfect chunks, okay? So there we go with that. I'm not even gonna stir it up yet. I just have it all together. I ended up, it calls for a tomato diced. I didn't have a big tomato because I don't usually buy big tomatoes in the winter. I just don't think they taste that good. I like to buy these containers full of grape and cherry tomatoes, a bunch of different colors. So I cut up about 1 tomato's worth, chop that up. I again didn't have red onion, but I had plenty of Vidalia onion and I like that better anyway. So I chopped up half of a Vidalia onion, that's a sweet onion. And then a 1/4 cup of cilantro. So I had bought a bunch of cilantro, chopped it up, rough chop, doesn't have to be real small, just get it nice and small. Try to only leave the stalks and just get the leaves. We like things spicy, so I'm actually adding a half of a jalapeno pepper, chopped up very small. I went for it, what the heck, right? And then it calls for 2 cloves of garlic, minced. So what I'm gonna do, I think you guys have seen this before, you're gonna take your knife and hold it over it, and just with the very heel of your hand, this part right down here, you're not gonna smash it, but you're gonna press on it. Give it a good press and you'll hear it crunch like that, and I'll do it with both. You can hear that crunch, and that gets all of the peel to crack, and then you can peel it really, really, really easily. Just like that, it's totally peeled. I'm gonna cut the tips off these because those don't taste very good. And then I'm going to use my little garlic press and just, I'll bring this over so you can see it. This is great too because you're using 1 bowl. It's getting full, so you can tell we're getting towards the end of our ingredients. And I'm just gonna press my 2 cloves of garlic. Sorry, I never owned one of these before. I bought it over the holidays and I actually love it. And then you just tap off. It's all nice and minced up. Easy peasy, your hands don't get all yucky. I love it. All right, so now we have everything, and we'll start adding some flavor to it. The recipe calls for lemon. I like lime, so I'm switching it up. So this semester, as much as you're comfortable, and especially when you're home and you have certain ingredients and then others that you might not have, feel free to substitute and do things according to your own taste. And if you like them, go for it. And you know what? It's good to experiment. You'll find out what you like and what you don't like. So I'm gonna give about 1/2 of a lime squeezed, because I like my salsa to have a lot of lime flavor, a lot of cilantro flavor, and some spice. And then we're gonna add a little drizzle of olive oil, whatever you have. A couple tablespoons. You can always add a little more if you'd like. And then I love black pepper on things, so I'm gonna add black pepper. You could also add cayenne, you could add red pepper flakes, you name it, whatever tastes good to you. And then this is flaky salt. It gives it a lot of flavor. It's great to add at the end of a recipe. Don't be afraid to give these. There's a lot of veggies in here, so you're gonna wanna give it some flavor. So don't be afraid to put a little salt in it. And now we simply mix it all up, and it gets much more colorful. What I would also do is make this a little bit ahead. So say the game is at 6:30, you might want to make this at 5, something like that. And either stick it in the fridge, or you don't really have to. This would be great at room temperature. And let the flavors marinate a little bit. It tastes better once it's been combined for a while, but as you can see, this makes a big bowl of salsa. So this is great for a crowd. I'm gonna give it a tiny bit more salt and pepper on top. And we're done. There you go. This is our avocado, corn, and white bean salsa. Enjoy.